and welcome to EUC Learn Along. How's it going? Well, we're going to do some cool stuff. All right, so in the last video, we did some resource aggregation. We set up a multi-site Citrix environment, Site A, Site B. We consolidated some of our management pieces, Studio and Director, to where we can access both sites in a single pane of glass. So now to tie off the setup, we're going to introduce GSLB. All right, so I got everything favorited to kind of make things quick. All right, and this tab will be our, or is our Site A ADC, and this is our Site B. What is going on out there? All right. See if I can remember. All right, yep, we got logged into our domain controller. Oh, and we got a nifty tool, pretty old, but I think people still use it. Angry IP scanner. I had to scan for some free IPs because I'm kind of all over the place. We'll use 140 and up, and had to double check DNS. It looks like we're good. We got 8 IPs that we can use between there. So yeah, let's do this. All right, so we need to create a service for ADNS. Load balancing services. And there's also services for GSLB, not to get them confused. All right, so site-a ADNS. This will be 192.168.140. This is going to be a lot of memorization. All right, ADNS. I am going to copy and paste. All right, Site A, Site A. Let's do Site B. Probably should have called it a little bit better name, but 192.168.35.141 ADNS. Done. Here, I'll rename it. Service. Okay. Renaming and internal service is not allowed. Well, okay. Well, instead of deleting them, we'll just stick with that. All right, so we got Site B, ADNS. We got Site A. We need to create these on both servers. So go ahead and highlight that, hit add. We'll do Site B, new server, 192.168.35.141. Correct. And I'll put that on top. Add, again, we're doing Site A, 192.168, 35.140. It's weird I can't rename. And B. All right. So now we got those created. Let's create some DNS entries for those. Site-a-ADNS. We will copy that. 140. And we will create one for B. 141. All right, so we got our services created. Site A and B, AD and S on both servers. We got an IP chosen for each of them. All right, and we are creating our DNS entries. Now we need to delegate. A new delegation. Delegated domain, storefront. So we got storefront A and B. We'll call this one GSLB. Call it whatever you want. It's just a name. All right, that's a good enough name. There we go. And now we need to add in these records we just created. .eucfurlong.local. Copy and paste as your friend. Yeah, 140. And site B, 141. Good so far. All right, yes, this included a new delegation name. All right, so this is the name we got. This is the name we're sticking with. Good. Anything else I need to do? I think we're okay. All right, so we almost finished DNS. We could be done with it, but we need to create our site. Again, we can click here. Let's add a site. Site -a-GSLB. We will stick with this naming scheme. All right, so site A, we're on ADC 1. That is primary ADC for site A. So this will be local. Need another IP address. 168.35.142. That's the next in line. We can leave everything else blank and hit create. All right, and we will do the same on B. All right, so again, navigate to GSLB site, and we will create one for B. So basically, we're doubling down on both servers. The thing to pay attention to is the type. Again, we're on ADC 3, which I think I showed in the last video. I guess if you're not paying along, then you might be confused. All right, so site A, we had a HA pair, but kind of got rid of that. We're just running off the one. Our site B is our ADC 3, and we broke these up. So it's a learn along. So hopefully you're following along in the videos. All right, and we need an IP for this as well. 143. Leave everything else blank. Create. All right, so when we create these, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Because what we're going to end up doing, the same we did with the NetScaler, is that there's a wizard. Yes, the wonderful wizard to create these things. So we're going to leverage the GSLB wizard. You can do it here. Get started. You can click dashboard, hit configure. Takes you all to a wizard. But when you click on it, it gives you some prereqs. This is all we're following prior to getting this set up. That's how we know what to do. All right, so there was a mention in there. I guess I should have pointed that out, is we don't have a firewall. We need to enable management access. on our sites. All right, so we've done that before with our subnet IP. We will do the same with our GSLB IP. Enable it. Do the same. Got my favorites, making things easy. All right, so we got that enabled on both servers. Now we need to go back to our sites. And again, we need to add B to A and we need to add A to B. It's a lot of alphabet characters. Anyhow, we'll highlight it, make things easy for us. We'll hit add. We're doing B. All right, so this is remote because we're on A. Our site is 43. We can clear this out. It will populate once we hit save. It is down. And we need to add A to B. So that is now our remote server. And I think it's 42. Let me double check. All right, I think we're good. And now it's active. Wow. All right. So far, pretty simple. Just need a handful of IPs. So far, we went through 140 all the way up to 143. We created some services for ADNS. Wish I would have chose a better name because apparently I can't just click on it and hit rename, but site A and B are created within there. Same on our other node. And then we got our sites created. We got the management piece enabled under the site IP. And we're almost done with DNS. Could just leave it alone, but we'll go ahead and add it in there to keep track of it and to leverage it. New host record, yes. Site A-GSLB. We'll copy that. 192.168.35.142. Is that correct? I believe it is. All right, B 192.168.35.143. Okay, and done. Refresh. Oh man, I'm tired. So we got 140 all the way up to 143. Cool. All right, so we got DNS records for our sites as well created. Got our delegation created. I think we're almost there. Yeah. So I think we meet all the prereqs. Wish I had some water. So I think now we can use the wizard. And we are going to load balance our storefronts. Wizard, there we go. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we meet the prereqs. I've read this before several times. So I think we're good. Yeah, we got our services. We'll just do a active site, and our FQDN will be storefront GSLB .euc learnalong.local. Time to live 5 seconds. double check everything. All right, that matches up. So we're just matching the DNS delegation that we created. Our sites should be listed in here or not. That's weird. It shows 1 and 1. So continue. All right, there we go. Local. This is A, so site A. Yep. 142 active. Everything's green. All right, so now we need a service. All right, so we created a service under traffic management. Now we're creating a service under GSLB. Let's give this a good name. Service. Okay. So this is the service for storefront. So site A dash storefront GSLB. Probably too good of a name there. Site A, monitor. We will use storefront. And we're going to use a virtual server. We got our virtual server that we created. It's been more than a handful of videos ago where we load balanced storefront. Automatically filled out all this information. We can probably leave that alone, but we'll leave it as is. We'll create and we'll add another service for B. All right, site B, remote, monitor. I don't know what's going on with these pop-ups. So I have been messing around in the lab. You would more than likely need to create a new server and put in the IP address. I've already got mine in here. So servers, nope. Virtual servers, yep. 187. And again, site B is we're not licensed, so we're not able to use or import a cert. Just gives us errors. 187, we're murdering it. And site B, we are using SSL. All right, we can leave all that to default. Port 80, create, and continue. All right, so things are not looking good for site A. Let's edit it. So I did create another monitor. We'll try this. So I think this one secure is unchecked, and for this one secure is checked. Oh my goodness, what is... Here we go. Up, 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 up. All right, so glad I created that monitor. So now we need a virtual server. BIP storefront. It's not really a VIP. Could just call it virtual. we'll just call it virtual server. Everything's green here. Let's bind the domain or I can't even talk. It's so late. It's 11:30. FDQN, fully qualified domain name. FQDN. I'm struggling. My eyes are heavy. All right, so let me double check this. We're good. Curious to see this work. And our method, we'll leave as default. Operation not permitted. Very confused. What operation is not permitted? Okay. I did not like what we had set there. Well, let's try again. Yep. Storefront dash GSLB. Create. Save. I'm not sure what's going on. So it's not creating it. Scrolling. Got to scroll in 2 spots. What is this operation? Not permitted. You know what? Maybe it's not liking the monitor. Oh, it's not liking SSL. Alright, I think I know how to fix it. Will it save? I know it's not. Oh my god, it's all hosed up. Great. Let's try again. Alright, so I think it created all those entries for us. Let's look. Services. Service group. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I think it's SSL that's not working out for us. Alright, let's try it again. Storefront. GSLB. EUC learn along. Local. Continue. We saw the sites don't show in here, but when you hit OK, they show. Luckily I had that in my clipboard. We'll leave this to HTTP. We will bind this monitor to it. virtual server. All right, so the only thing we're changing is the service type. Create, add services. Again, this will be for site B. Site B, the monitor. Just use our standard storefront. Server's already in here. We'll clear that out. Should automatically put the information in when we hit create and continue. All right, so let's check our work. All right, everything's green. Maybe probably can't have conflicting protocols in here. Yeah, having SSL on one and no cert on the other probably isn't going to work out. Makes sense. All right, so let's give it a name. Oh man, I'm tired. What were we going to call this before? Virtual server. Virtual server. Storefront. GSLB. Think all the names good. Oh, service type. I see now. All right, round robin method should be good. Awesome. Man. That was good to know. All right, so we can do both. One having a certain, one not. Just need to make sure that the type was both set to HTTP. Continue. So that's it. Man, I made it through and I'm super sleepy. All right, so click and there's our setup. Pretty basic. We'll hit done. Everything's up. We got our GSLB configurations. Click on it. Tells you everything right here, just like the wizard. You just click on it. Oh, there we go. Got our name, IP, port, cert, authentication, theme, applications, the wizards. That's where they're at. All right, so I'm struggling. So everything's up. Nothing's down. Our sites are green. Everything's green. So let's test it out. Oh, let's not test it out. So we configured everything on this server. This will be our, I won't say primary, but our master node. And we need to sync these changes over to server B. If we go to server B, what sites are, oh, so our sites were created on here. That's right. We need to sync these changes. All right, so let's go to synchronize, run, and we'll let that sit for a minute. Man, I wish I had some water. Oh, it did call it a master. Okay. A is the master. B, maybe a poor choice of name, slave. All right, so we don't have any firewall in place, so we should be good. Done. All right, so if we go to site B, our appliance, maybe click on it. our stuff is replicated. Man, it's like Inception, but reverse. So we got load balancing for Storefront, Web Studio, Director, any other application, but now we're doing it on a larger scale. All right, we can hit close on you. Not really sure what you want to monitor here, but we're up. All right, and we're going to log in. We got a lot of VMs up. Control. I'm going to log in with a local account. Had some stuff up, so we'll do it in incognito. What are we doing? Storefront. Dash GSLB dot EUC learn along dot local. Is my stuff going to enumerate? Can I authenticate? Please let it happen. That's a good start. All right, so we're accessing our storefront server. Uh-oh. My lab has froze up. My internet's up. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll detect workspace. We'll log in. All right, so it looks like we're hitting our... Hey! There we go. Hey! I forgot I put that in there. But we got our apps and desktops to enumerate. And the way we had this set up, again, in the last video we did resource aggregation, server storefront-A was set up with resources aggregated, dedupe, all that good stuff. It removed our extra calculator, and we got access to this. So let's see if we can launch, and pretty sure it's going to work. So I want to fail this over to B. Probably should have did a active passive setup. And before I forget, nothing needed to be saved. And we're going to go back to here. All right. Calculator is thinking. Should be launching. And we'll try to take down connection center. Awesome. All right, let's see if we can take down our site. So we can do this manually too. Need site B, services. All right, so let's take this out. Disable, refresh. Services is down. That is correct. Let's go back. Let's close you. Let's open up the window and storefront. Oh man, my brain is working real slow. GSLB .ec.local. Is that right? Looks right. And look at there. We have actively failed over to B, site B. All right, already installed. Guess I need to agree, or oh, it's hung up again. I'll just give it a second. All right, I know that it's pointed to our storefront-B, our 187 address, because of the cert not being present. And this thing. Yep, let's open. And all our resources, once we log in, we should see double. Calculator, yep. So look at there. We did it. I'm very tired. But that's some cool stuff. We can have a super resilient environment. Very few steps. If I wasn't so tired, I wouldn't have dragged my feet. But you got to keep track of some IPs and plan it out. But again, to recap, recap configuration right here. We created our sites. We created our services for ADNS. Got our services for GSLB. Got a virtual server. Got our FQDN, which I was struggling with. Met all the prereqs. Got DNS configured. Yep. Got records configured for ADNS, GSLB. Got delegation created for storefront-GSLB. Man, we did it. I'm done. So I'm gonna call it quits. Put in the blog, some applications other than storefront. There's a lot we can do with GSLB, but cool stuff. Anyhow, I hope you learned something. I know I did. All right.